Please get ready for a dictation of part 5, last part of the material taken from the website byju's.com on Comptroller and Auditor General of India, which can be suitable for DDC PA skill and any other skill exam. 5 seconds. Start. It is the prime task of the CAG to audit all expenditure incurred from the revenue of the Union and the states. It may be mentioned at the outset that the audit by this office is not an administrative but a financial audit. Administrative audit entails an examination of technical, personnel, and organizational processes of the administrative apparatus. This audit is not within its jurisdiction. The Comptroller and Auditor General's office is concerned only with the financial aspects. However, when an administrative act has serious adverse financial repercussions or implications, the CAG can see whether that particular administrative act was in conformity with the prescribed laws and approved financial procedures, and whether it has resulted in any extravagance or loss. Audit of expenditure consists of ensuring whether the following essential conditions have been fulfilled or not: that the expenditure is covered by sanction, whether special or general, accorded by a competent authority; that the expenditure conforms to the relevant provisions of the statutory enactments and is in accordance with the financial rules and regulations framed by the competent authority; that there is a sanction, either general or special, accorded by the competent authority; that it is within the ambit of the purpose for which the grant was intended; that the demand is supported by a voucher in proper form, and the person to whom the payment has been made has duly acknowledged the payment, and the fact of payment has been so recorded as to make a second claim on the government impossible; that the various programs, schemes, and projects in which large funds have been invested are being run economically; that the various public sector undertakings are yielding the results expected of them, and that the expenditure has been incurred with due regard to the broad and general principles of financial propriety. All these constitute what is called the statutory audit. In other words, these are specifically provided for by statute or law. Side by side, another area which is known as discretionary audit has emerged. The discretionary audit is based on a liberal interpretation of the functions given by the statute and the recommendations of the Public Accounts Committee. It had recommended that the Public Accounts Committee should, even more than in the past, encourage the CAG to scrutinize and criticize improper and wasteful expenditure, and to indicate whether censure is, in his opinion, required. In practice, the discretionary powers have become more important than the ones laid down by the statute. Much depends on the approach and style of the incumbent. A precise area of audit cannot be prescribed in the case of a discretionary audit because no rules regarding this have been laid down. Yet it may be mentioned that discretionary audit lays emphasis on undertaking investigation and reporting on any wasteful and uneconomical expenditure regarding contracts and major deals. The statutory audit is also known as the regularity audit in the sense that its chief purpose is to see whether rules and procedures have been followed in accordance with the basic statutes, rules, essential requirements of audit and accounts, and the general or particular orders issued by higher authorities. It also involves general conformity to the broad principles of orthodox finance by the sanctioning and the spending authorities. Former CAG T.N. Chaturvedi observes that in the process of seeing whether the expenditure conforms to the rules, regulations, statutes, and enactments, the office is also interpreting the rules, orders, and statutes. This makes it a constitutional, statutory, and quasi-judicial body under the Constitution of India. Stop.